Hi everyone, I'm Tanner and welcome to our channel. This is my first ever vlog. So if you've ever wondered what it's like to vend at an expo, join me as I go through what it's like to travel to, set up for, and vend at the Calgary Comic and Entertainment Expo for 2019. Amy wasn't able to come this year as she was working on some commission pieces and taking care of our daughter. So I took Amy's sister, Ashley, and their cousin John with me on the trip. Last year, a forklift managed to back into our booth and shattered one of our glass countertops, and it damaged some of our work as well. And so you never know what's going to happen at these expos. There's always something to keep it interesting and unpredictable and memorable for sure. So we are heading off today for the Calgary Comic Expo, our biggest show of the year. Unfortunately, Amy can't come with me, but her cousin John is joining us. We're leaving super late today. It's still daytime, but load-in ends at 9 p.m. and I didn't get everything done that I need to get done last night or this morning. So we're behind schedule. It's like 6 p.m. now. Calgary's 3 hours plus a little bit to get to downtown from our location. So it looks like we'll probably be moving in bright and early in the morning and getting everything set up for everyone then. The good thing for us though is the show doesn't open until 2 p.m. tomorrow. So I think it'll be okay. A little bit stressful, but I think it's gonna work out just fine. Not the first time I've done this. Right, so we started going and I realized we're almost out of diesel, so we're gonna be even a little bit later. But John and I have just finished fueling up. Really cold here, hoping Calgary will be a little bit warmer. All right, John and I just finished a fairly strenuous move-in. We had to move in super fast because the security guards were nice enough to let us in. And then when we got to the booth, we found that they hadn't put up a divider pole, which is exactly why I always bring extra. So fortunately, I came prepared this time, and I did have extra divider poles. I'll show you what I mean here. Just right in behind me, the black on the poles, that wasn't there at all. And so we had actually set that up, and it was quite a bit of space to cover, so I had to use most of my extras, but at least I had them and I didn't have to go with no wall. I don't know why there wasn't a wall, but it's a new promoter this year, so that could be part of the reason they're just doing things differently. Anyways, we're covered. We're gonna move out now for the night, but tomorrow morning, bright and early, we'll be back in here to actually set the booth up. All right, so I'm all checked into my hotel. It's almost midnight, but at least we got all our cargo unloaded over at the show. So tomorrow when I go in there with John, we can just get things set up for a few hours and we'll be ready to go by 2 p.m. But tonight, I'm not quite done yet. I still have more work to do. And every show, it's almost like a little tradition that I have in a way. Amy and I push ourselves right to the end and almost finish a whole bunch of things, leaving just the finishing final touches for when I get to the hotel room. So I have a box full of books and bookbinding supplies with me, and I also have all kinds of different earrings and pendants that need to be assembled, put on cards, and priced still. So here are all the pieces that I brought with me that weren't quite finished. There's stuff that I really want to get out for the show, but I just didn't have time to put it all together. Amy and I had stayed up till about 4 o'clock in the morning, this morning, if you will, working on these and other items, just getting them to this point. And when we got back up a few hours later and went back to work, we still couldn't get to the actual assembly or packaging of these items. So that's gonna have to be done, well, hopefully as much as I can tonight, and anything else will have to be done at the show tomorrow. Here's what I got done. So just after 3 a.m. and I'm definitely going to bed now. But I'm pretty happy with the progress. So in a few hours, we'll be heading over to the Saddle Dome and completing the setup and opening the show at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, it's Thursday morning, the first day of the show. John and I are on site for the Calgary Comic Expo. Saddled up like a couple of burros here with all kinds of new stuff that I was working on last night putting together. Didn't finish everything still, but we're going to get some slow points during the day, no doubt, where I can work on some bookbinding and that kind of thing at the booth. Maybe I'll take a little video of that for you too. Okay, so we're in Calgary Expo now, and we're at the booth. You can see it in behind me here. There's John in the background. But basically it's a big pile of boxes. I started doing a little bit of work here. I've done more than it appears I've done, but we still have a long way to go, really. All right, so Calgary Comic Expo is now open for business. John and I finally have the booth done. You can see it in behind me there. It was a lot of work. It was a new configuration. I still have some things to work out with it. We definitely ran into some hangups that I wasn't anticipating, but I really do like the results overall. I think it's a pretty impressive booth. It's difficult to display so many different types of items, and so I always challenge myself to come up with something different per show. I'll give you a little bit better look at the booth now. All right, so it's almost the end of the day for day one of Calgary Comic Expo. It was a pretty good day all in all. We definitely had some challenges setting up the booth and getting everything out on time. I still have tons of stuff to put together, unfortunately. Sister-in-law Ashley brought up a box of stuff that I accidentally forgot. Some of Amy's new ideas for keychains and earrings and all kinds of stuff, and she set it by the door for me and I totally blanked on it, forgot it. And so fortunately, my sister-in-law was able to bring it up for me. And she's going to be joining us for the show here, and she's been very helpful all day. I let her go for the evening now, but she assembled keychains all day, helped me with customers and so on, and it was a good day overall, and definitely very appreciative for all the help from all the family that's come up and helped us out here, and got to connect with a bunch of people we haven't seen for a little while. Usually only see them out at the expos, so that's always a lot of fun too. Okay, John and I are heading out for the night from the Calgary Expo. It's a pretty good day. Still have some work left to do, of course, but I'll catch up on that in a little bit. So it's around midnight now. I'm back at the hotel, just getting ready to bind a couple books, maybe put some earrings or pendants on cards, and then call it a night. Hopefully not 4 a.m. again this time. Amy always likes to sneak in a few extra pieces, so today when her sister came up to save me and bring all the stuff that I forgot, Amy also snuck in this new Green Dragon book that I think is great. Anyways, it was a new color and I didn't know that she had it on the go, but I'm excited to see the final result with that one. Tomorrow will be day 2 of the Calgary Expo. It's Friday, and it's a little bit longer day than Thursday, so I'm excited to see what kind of costumes I see. Amy's cousin John really likes to participate in a lot of the expo activities, so we're always excited to see what kind of results he gets at his tournaments and that sort of thing as well. And Amy's sister will be back again helping me as well tomorrow afternoon. All right, I'm on site for the Calgary Expo day 2, Friday, and we're looking forward to having an awesome day. It's pretty busy here, so I ended up having to park quite a ways. That's why I let John off and sent him in ahead of me. All right, it's Friday afternoon of the Calgary Comic Expo. We're having a great day. There's lots of cool costumes, all kinds of interesting stuff going on all over the place here. People always get super excited for this show, so it's really a pleasure to be a part of it. And Amy's sister Ashley is joining me today and helping out with the booth. And where is she? There she is. Hi, Ashley. And so Ashley's been super helpful. She's been helping me with all kinds of stuff, setting rivets, pricing stuff. She brought me a coffee, that's always popular. And never mind the fact she did go and pick up some rivets and a tool that I had forgotten at home that I really needed to finish some of the new journals that I was working on and wanted to have on display this weekend. So Ashley saves the day, and we're having a great time here, and we can't wait to see what's next. All right, it's the end of the day, Friday. John and I are just wrapping up the booth for the evening, and also the booth beside us was empty. The person wasn't able to come, I guess, and I talked to the show manager and he said, well, why don't you just expand a little bit? Fortunately, I almost always bring too much things with me, so I brought extra products, but also extra displays and poles and drapes. So I'm just kind of expanding here in behind. There's our sign already up, and I kind of put in a part wall as well. And that way, tomorrow, there's a table behind me here. And on that table, we'll be able to display a little bit of our extra pieces and just give us a little bit more space and kind of spread out a little bit more. Try it out and see how it works out. But it's always exciting to get a little bonus. All right, John and I are just about to head over for day 3 of the Calgary Expo. This is the Saturday, and it's pretty much the biggest day of the show, so we're excited to see all the different types of outfits and so forth that everyone has on today. Okay, John and I just finished doing our little expansion here into the empty booth that was beside us. So we have all kinds of different displays in behind me that we basically just didn't use during the initial setup. I wasn't sure 100% which ones I'd like to use or not. And so I ended up with a few different signs. I had an extra treasure chest, and then I've been slowly putting a few products over here too, just to kind of fill in the space. And then we split the space with our neighbor, of course, so that they could also kind of bring some of their racking across the front additionally, and just kind of fill in the gap that was left there. And then it gave us a nice storage room too. All right, it's almost the end of the day for Saturday of the Calgary Comic Expo 2019. And there's actually a blizzard going on in Calgary right now, and it's kind of impacted the amount of people that were able to come, although it was still a super busy and super fun day. It did actually have a lot of people that kind of had to forge through the blizzard to come from Edmonton and other places like Red Deer. And then it had a whole bunch of people that were kind of leaving early or wanting to just sort of stay in the building. So it led to sort of an interesting experience, and the lights are going on and off on the hall, and also it's getting kind of cold in here, so we've had to put our jackets on and that sort of thing. Still having a great time though. It was a really good day, but it's definitely a unique one given the strange weather conditions and the lights and everything else. It's been sort of a interesting experience. Well, I'm back at the room on Saturday evening here from the Calgary Comic Expo. It was an interesting day, definitely the most busy day of the con so far. Lots of great costumes going by. Had a couple of the kind of the maybe less recognizable celebrities kind of pop by the booth. They had their tags backwards, so I'm not sure exactly who they were. I think they were maybe more some of the voice actors and that sort of thing, but it's always cool to have some of those types of people coming by to see our work as well. And the blizzard that's going on here in Calgary is quite the event, really. Like it's just wet snow, and we had a lot of trouble actually getting out of the Stampede grounds because the van tires, we had switched them to the summer tires just before the trip. So unfortunately, it was pretty slippery, especially without any cargo in the cargo bay on the van. So it took a while to get back, even though we're only like 10 minutes away. It took us probably about twice the amount of time to get back to the hotel as it normally would, just because of the weather. So it's Sunday morning, the last day of the Calgary Comic Expo for 2019. John and I are pretty excited to head over to the building. Just loading out of our rooms now and checking out of the hotel. An interesting development last night was that Ashley, Amy's sister, came with us over to the hotel to wait for a ride to come in. She was planning to stay just outside of Calgary with some friends. However, the blizzard actually caused a road closure, which led to kind of a bit of a disastrous night for Ashley because John and I had small hotel rooms, so we couldn't help her out. And on top of that, her boyfriend and friends couldn't come and get her because the road between Calgary and the place where she was staying was actually closed right down due to the blizzard. Fortunately, she had another friend in town, and it wasn't too far away from the hotel, so they were able to connect, and Ashley went and stayed with them overnight. John and I made it safely to the Calgary Expo, the Stampede grounds here. The parking lot is kind of an uninviting mess. It hasn't been plowed, really super icy. Fortunately, due to comfort reasons, I actually packed my winter boots just because they're comfortable to stand around in more so than my dress shoes. And so I'm doing all right, but that was just a happy accident, really. But the roads were clear, and so we'll see how the day goes. All right, that's a wrap. Calgary Expo 2019 is over. John and I are just packing the booth down, waiting for Ashley to come back with a couple carts for us to load out to the van, and then we're driving back tonight to Edmonton. Just finished fueling up the van. John's getting something to eat, and then we're gonna head on back to Edmonton. So we're about halfway home now. The roads are actually quite clear. We did see a lot of vehicles that got into accidents last night though. And so there was just vehicles littering the ditch all the way here, especially between maybe like Calgary and Bowden. And so that was something that was kind of scary to think about, because if we'd been heading back yesterday, we would have been caught right in the middle of that and definitely wouldn't have gotten anywhere, if not ended up in an accident. So hopefully everyone was all right after all of that. And it looks like the roads are probably going to be fairly clear all the way back to Edmonton, which we're really fortunate about and definitely grateful about that. Overall, it was a great show and a great experience. There were certainly some slower parts that were largely impacted by the extreme weather conditions that took place on Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening in Calgary. However, it all turned out in the end. And they haven't announced the official attendance numbers yet, but usually this show attracts around 100,000 fans. So it was a very busy weekend. Amy and I are always working on new behind the scenes videos on the artist lifestyle, as well as more vlogs coming up too. So please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. I hope to see you in the next video.